Nope. Nope.
Yeah. Howdy, everybody.
Howdy.
Howdy, Landon.
What's up?
We're going to have to call you Pandan with that panda bear on your chest. Oh, it's a dog. That's right. I've seen that shirt before.
Yeah, the one that looks exactly like my dog, but actually isn't. Free hug.
Right? And that, howdy, Lynn. Howdy, the fire of Yah. Howdy, Ashley. Howdy, Shawnette. Well, that's the surprise, Lynn. There's no enchiladas. Bummer. That reminds me, like, the rumors you could start at the prison. Man, I can't believe they're baking a cake that big. And then you get, why are so many people eating chow today? My gosh, look at that line. Then they get there and it's dang bag nasties, which is what we call the box lunches.
You think in the future they'll be able to like pull cards in the prison system like they do in the boot camp now?
Pull cards?
No, they like if a recruit is too stressed out, they could pull the card on the drill instructor.
Oh, right.
Stop.
No, I don't know, man. I suppose it's possible that they got some strange stuff right now. You're like really stressing me out right now because I don't know how to wipe the counter. Okay. And your tone of voice, just because you told me 15 times, I don't think you should be using that tone of voice. You know, I have a friend that was managing a restaurant, and he was like kind of incredulous that with new hires, most of these were college students too. New hires, like, you'd be like, okay, can you prep the get the prep area ready for lunch? Okay. And then 10 minutes later, why haven't you prepped that? I don't know what I'm doing. And then, like, you have to show them each time. Wipe the counters down. This is how you throw it away. This is how you get stuff out of the refrigerator, et cetera, et cetera. Just kind of weird.
At the Japanese restaurant that I worked at when I got in my motorcycle accident, when was it 2015? They had a picture, a printed thing on there saying, if you leave the restaurant, if you walk outside the restaurant to catch Pokemon, you will be flagged.
To catch what? Pokemon?
Pokemon. That's when Pokemon Go was.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was never into it, so.
Me, I don't. Yeah, but I come to work one day and I'm like, okay.
Right. Man, that's some scary stuff. It really is. I always look at classifieds for whatever reason. Yeah. Seems like an awful lot of these hardcore bikers are selling their motorcycles, their Harley Davidsons. Speaking of motorcycles.
I was telling some guys I might have told you this story before. A few years back, I was giving up on I was frustrated with this motorcycle idea thing, trying to get it out there. And so I walked down the street and there was this little biker club thing, whatever. It's kind of a rough place. And anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, yeah, this isn't fixing it. So I went to walk home and I saw these 3 patch members. I don't think they were 1%ers, but they were pretty burly bikers. They walked in there and And I was so happy to talk about my little motorcycle idea. I walk up to them like, hey, can you please look this up? I did a thing where I explain it and all that. And I began to get emotional while telling them the story of it and how, I was excited about it, but I was like, I was having a really hard day realizing that it wasn't just gonna, I didn't know how to accomplish this thing. And so as I'm beginning to tell them this story, like my voice is cracking, and I'm like, and so I finally just kind of gave up as I like started to cry. And these big burly motorcycle, he's like, it's okay, buddy, it's all right. And it was just the funniest scene. Look at that.
I like bikers, man.
Yeah.
They get a bad rap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because one of my relatives that used to take care of me took me to Tombstone Hell Dorado days, which is supposed to be Old West, but usually a bunch of bikers come running in there. And so they had got my mom's permission to take me up there with them and go over there. And this person that hates bikers because they're not trustworthy and everything leaves me in a biker bar so they can babysit me while they went off and had fun with whoever they picked up. And to me, it was the greatest thing in the world, man. Those bikers kept buying me sarsaparilla. It was all right. Them bikers are all right, man. Old Bob Miller sarsaparilla. Look at that. We got a whole crowd here today.
Good evening.
Oh, howdy, Melanie. Howdy, Melanie. Oops, I can't spell. Yeah, it's right in front of me. That happens. That's very exciting. So, how much is gas where you're at? Gasoline. I don't mean like stocking up on beans or anything like that.
They're done cooking. $2.50.
Is it really?
Google got rid of this thing, but I remember years ago you could type in, Google just did a thing automatically when you did gas station near me, and it would do the cheapest one, even if it was across town. And then they got rid of that, I guess, because Shell and Chevron were like, meh. But that was so cool. Did you like, hey, I'm going to the mall later. It's like 20 cents cheaper over there. Anyway, I think it's like $2.50.
Yeah, it's like about hovering at right around $3 a gallon here. So it always makes me feel good to talk to my sister in Hawaii. Oh, well, $4.50, okay. And that, which is weird because they do all their own oil refining over there.
All right.
They've got their own gas industry, fuel industry. You guys got refineries down there by you? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, we make jet fuel.
Whoa. So what's the difference between jet fuel and diesel fuel?
Just where it comes out at.
Just where it comes out of the pipes.
The way them cat crackers work, the different layers of the fuel distribution or filtration.
Right. Because all them pipes. It's funny because they say, "Oh, we need to get rid of gasoline. We'll all have electric vehicles." And blah, 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 blah. It's funny because gasoline is a byproduct of making all the greases and other lubricants that they need for industry to produce stuff. So unless you get rid of consumerism, you better have something that's burning gasoline, or we're just going to be dumping it into the water supply somewhere.
$2.60 today. Yeah, I think there's a fella. I haven't looked at how he does it, but I've heard some people promoting someone that's making generators out of vegetable oil, and not is the you know what I'm saying. The fuel is vegetable oil, and I don't know how efficient it is, but Right. But if you can, especially in like the hurricanes and stuff here, if there's a way to use something like vegetable oil to power even just a refrigerator or something like that, that's a lifesaver. Or a heater in the winter. Everything that we just went through with the power outages. The guy that made the water car, I mean, I wouldn't talk about it like he did, but I remember seeing a cutting torch. It was on like YouTube in my early days of 2015, where it was the same concept of separating the hydrogen and the oxygen molecule, and it brought them back together to cut with. And it was just a simple, the whole box was clear, and then it disappeared. And I can't even find it.
Well, it's like that dude that invented the warm fuel atomizer system, pressurized fuel system. And forget his name. He invented it back in the early 70s. And this dude converted, he put his prototype system on like a 1972 Ford Galaxy 500 or something. And tested it out with the official, monitors and everything. And that big old honking land yacht got like 250 miles a gallon with this system. And then there was supposedly a big conspiracy that wouldn't let him produce his patent. And he ended up going in down the sinker and ended up overdosing on drugs like in the 1980s.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. We were just talking about this, Melly. The dude in Central America somewhere that has that all set up to make plastic into diesel fuel. Pretty cool.
Interesting.
Now, here's the interesting thing. Diesel invented the engine that has his name on it for farmers to run on anything that they could squish oil out of on a farm. So it was originally a biofuel engine so that they could run a power plant or they could run a tractor with a diesel engine. And then the oil companies got involved. Apparently this is turning into the oil company conspiracy episode.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
What? Well, if we keep on this line of questioning, it's going to bring us back to some of them frozen enchiladas. Because, they sure taste like plastic. Which plastic is made from oil.
I'm trying to think of those rice. I don't buy them. A family member was trying to make me a meal, very appreciative of it, and I guess they just ate it a lot. It's not rice-a-roni, maybe it is, but it was a microwavable, and when I say it, I was like, I wondered, is it the whole meal was good, and then I got to the starch, and I was like, I wonder if it's plastic. Could have been because all those videos of like people in China making a fake tomato out of a fryer with the colors at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And the lettuce, right?
Yeah.
But it tasted like it had no flavor with the seasoning on it, and I was like, the texture was, I don't know.
We got this grocery store chain here. It's one major company called Bashas, and but they own Bashas and they also own Food City. Well, Food City is geared towards the Hispanic community, and they got good prices, excellent prices on produce. And we were getting avocados there for a while, but whatever pesticide it is that they use down there, it smells like, I don't know, either like light diesel or something like that. I mean, it's definitely a petroleum product. It's kind of strange. So we quit buying our avocados there. And that, true story. In California, used oil, used to be able to go to a restaurant and say, hey, can I pick up your used oil? And then pour it into your Mercedes diesel and drive around smelling like French fries everywhere. And anyways, the state legislature in California got a hold of it. So they passed a law that you can't pick up waste oil, recycled food oil. You can't be a food recycler unless you have a food recycler's license. It's a $300,000 license. I know. And then if you get caught, it's like $100,000 fine per incident of you getting rid of or buying or picking up fryer oil like that. So they said, and they have the reputation as like the green community, the green state.
Mm-hmm.
They're just the scam state.
I agree.
Sorry for all you people in California, but it's true.
But the good news is though, if you own property there and sell it, you can buy pretty much anywhere else in the United States. Like yeah. If that's plausible, I'm guessing. Well, I'm saying LA. I don't know much about California. If you lived in LA and you had to get out, you'd be all right.
I don't know. I mean, it's just so big there. It's so spread out. I mean, it's insane. Well, you've been to Chicago, right? Or it's like Houston, but
Right.
It's even more spread out, I think, because they didn't give a hoot when they built the place. They were just like, let's give everybody space. And people, they'll get upset too. They'll be, leave your hotel in Los Angeles, be driving along. It's like, can you tell me how long it takes to get to the other side of Los Angeles? You're in Long Beach, you idiot. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, you can't tell if you're not from there what town you're in. It's like Phoenix. Sorry, Len, I had to go there.
Right. You don't really know when you're in the next neighborhood.
Right.
Like Sugarland is if you're not from Houston, like you just end up in it. Which it's close to it, but you just wouldn't know because it just I guess New Yorkers are used to that though, right? Like,
and that's like kind of the opposite. They squish everybody into that teeny tiny area. I mean, you can walk from one side of town to the other. Like, find yourself in the wrong area real quick. Not that I know.
Right. My first day in Houston, mom's a very pretty lady, and the area, my stepdad, he's doing a lot better. He's working, breathing on his own right now, so praise God. But my first day, I'm 14, I think. We just drove. I'd never been there to visit. Pretty sure. Anyway, so we get there. Mom's, pretty lady, parks on the side of the road, and it's the area that he's patrolling. She's on the outskirts of it, but it's right next to one of the projects in Houston. And a few of the local street vendors run up to go and, I guess solicit something. And my stepdad pulled up in a patrol car. Right, it was just that was an interesting experience, and never went back to that part of Houston. All right, this is where we're moving. No, we live over there, but
yeah. Long time ago in my early 20s, I was working as a security guard. Yeah. I forget what it was that I think we'd made, Rita and I had made some baked goods or something. I told my brother if he came to where I was working that night, I'd give him a bag of cookies or something. I don't remember what it was. And so he's like, He's like, where are you working? I said, at the Greenview Apartments. He's all, where? He's all, the Greenview Apartments. I gave him directions and stuff. So he shows up like half an hour later than he said he was going to show up. He says, man, I've drove all over this neighborhood looking for the Greenview Apartments. Why didn't you just say El Rio Projects, you idiot? I'm like, I didn't even know they were projects, man. I just know this is where I was being a security guard.
He must have really wanted those cookies.
I make good cookies, bro. I'm not boasting. I don't remember if that's what it was. Just about anything I baked, though, is worth it.
You should try my oatmeal.
Lumpy.
It's about 4 sticks of butter per cookie, but it's delicious.
I know. The way I do it's like, okay, first you mix in 1 tablespoon of flour. Now melt in half a pound of brown sugar and a stick of butter. Now put in your walnuts and chocolate chips. Mmm.
Still better than grandma's cookies. What is it, Granny?
Yeah.
Them gas station cookies.
Oh, what are those, grandma's?
Now we're back to chemical tasting food.
Yeah. That. Cookies are some good stuff. I'm telling you. Get your hands off my cookie. Let go of my ego. Did they have those commercials when you were a kid?
They did.
Do they? They still have those commercials?
I don't think they capitalized on so when I was like really young, not a teenager yet, they were doing had the BK Lounge, right? They still had like playpens and McDonald's and Burger King.
Oh,
Burger King had like the BK Lounge. It was like, but they tried to make it look cool.
Black lights and stuff.
And all the commercials were like that. Nobody better put a finger on my Butterfinger. The Lego my ego was a bunch of kids like just beefing at breakfast because somebody's trying to steal their Eggo waffle. It was rough.
Right? When our daughter was born, we had resolved that she wasn't going to eat at McDonald's. We weren't going to take her to McDonald's. If other people did, that's on them. But we weren't going to. And some friends of mine were like, what are you going to do when you're driving by McDonald's and they see all the kids on the playground in the play center at McDonald's and they start throwing a fit? So go to the park. They said, yeah, right. That's going to go out the window real fast. And it didn't.
All right.
Yep. I don't think we ever took her there. I know I didn't. Unless they was sneaking behind my back.
I went a lot, but it wasn't what it is now.
Yeah. Government eggs. Who was talking? I think it was Dee talking about government cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've had my share.
What?
I've had my share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like American cheese.
Just a bit. It looks like a whole. It's a huge block, but whenever you go to grab it, the pieces aren't cut. Looks like they would be. So you have like 200 pieces of sliced cheese.
See, I love American cheese, man.
But it's kind of like, again, it goes back to the same cheese that's at the school and the jails.
Oh wait, is it that like prison non-meltable cheese?
I don't think it does melt.
I used to go to when we belonged to Costco. I used to get the big, same type of thing, big log, like 200 American slices or something like that. Those things were awesome. People don't like it though. Can't help you. You communist traitor. If the ants won't eat it, it's not food.
I keep mine in the freezer in case somebody breaks in.
Just hit them with it. Yeah. Peel them apart first so you can use them like throwing stars. Yeah. Cops are all, how in the world did you get this piece of floppy cheese stuck in his forehead? It's not easy to self-censor. Yeah. That's good stuff.
It is. My dogs are being surprisingly calm.
Yeah, because they like us.
Right. They don't care during the Bible study. If I don't separate them,
Yeah. So what you do, you take your corn tortilla, lay it flat, and then take your slice of American cheese, put it on top of that, maybe 2 slices, and then just keep that going. Nuke that baby. Oh yeah. Then cover it with salsa. Poor man's enchilada.
I like to fry mine. It's not really enchilada. It's more of like a quesadilla. And get out the iron skillet. I got a little bitty one about the size of that big pack of tortilla. I think they're corn tortilla shells, but the big, small pack of them.
Like Guerrero.
Cook them and then flip them over real quick, and then cook the other one and flip it over real quick, and then put cheese and a little bit of ground meat. You could eat for like a week on that. 1 pound of ground meat.
Yep.
And cheese.
We used to have this place here, Southwest Supermarkets, and it was my turn to buy groceries with my roommates. So I went down there, and they had this thing on clearance. It was a brick, probably a couple inches thick of hamburger, but maybe about the size of a small casserole dish, raw hamburger. Like, you could tell by looking at it, it was like the lowest quality stuff ever. It was on sale for like $4 or something. I was like, oh man, that's awesome. That's totally going to get me through the week for buying groceries for everybody.
The label's like, technically it is cow.
Yeah. So I cooked up this big, huge pot of chili and then went to bed, get up, and my roommate had eaten the whole thing. I was like, are you kidding me? The whole thing? That was supposed to last us all week? Well, it was good. Okay. Whatever, man. In the deep fryer. Or you can bread it and bake it.
Can you deep fry cheese without breading it, or does it just go in a million?
Well, we used to shred it and then throw it in the iron skillet, and you can bake it or fry it. I don't know. It's not deep fried, but make like a little cheese pancake. A crunchland.
The Italians do that. Yeah, it's pretty good. We're at the salad station here, where you can buy an $8 salad.
that, okay, you're gonna have to explain to us desert folk. What's an ice shanty? What's an ice shanty there, lad? Stuck on the ice. He said, I'm gonna thaw this ice no matter what. How much chili did you eat? Okay, I take that back. Deep fryers, there's some good stuff coming from deep fryers. Okay, there's one of those Jurassic Park dinosaurs behind your computer. I can hear it.
Mine?
No, did you hear that noise? No? Okay. Toto. Okay. Thank you for that explanation there, Melanie. Now, what's a river shanty? You probably got those where you live, huh? Landon, no? You got river shanties there?
What is that?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking, man. What's a river shanty?
Oh.
She says, a raft.
Yeah, we got them on the bayou.
A shanty?
I mean, I don't know if they call it that. We build a house on the P-roll.
Oh, there we go. Tiny little house that you can drag around. So it's a tiny home. Why didn't you just say so, man?
Tiny home.
It's a minuscule home.
Right.
Hey. That sounds like a house out here. Sticks with walls and a roof. Now that's interesting because the Arizona state law actually defines, how do they call it? A residential structure as something designed for human occupation with 3 walls and a floor, but they don't mention the roof. So I don't know. It's kind of strange. So like a tent, like a backpacker's tent would be considered a residential structure. But one of those old canvas tents that you put like the stove in with no floor, that wouldn't.
What if you build a floor out of pallet wood, but it's not connected to the tent? Is that?
Nope, it has to be designed into the structure.
I saw as Miss Colleen mentioned that Take On the World. I have a lot of friends that are in different backgrounds, but they're all ending up that live on the East Coast, going to like a flat in South Carolina. So people are still doing them. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, like an actual conference, but it just made me think of that because I know a lot of people going to South Carolina or that live around South Carolina that are.
Oh wait, aren't you near? Isn't there a Lake Charles around you somewhere? Lake
Charles is about 2 hours from me. It's the last big city before Texas. Yeah. It's on the way to you, buddy. Yeah, it's not too far. If I had to commute there, there's a lot of work going on over there.
Is it?
They're building a pipeline. I worked on some of the giant diesel engines that pumping stations for. There's a lot of natural gas infrastructure, and every 100 miles or so, there's a pump that charges it back up. And these pipes are probably the size of my house. But they so all the plants on the Mississippi, and then on the other side over there by Lake Charles, because it runs that line that goes into Texas, they're building plants over there around that body of water.
Interesting.
I guess it's Lake Charles. I guess.
Very interesting. Yeah, I know they're doing that in West Texas too. They got a big natural gas processing plant in what used to be a ghost town. It's not a ghost town anymore. And then they got a 48-inch pipe running that. It's supposed to be running it down to Corpus Christi.
Work there too. That makes me think though, you think of the I know things are industrialized now, but you think of the old gold rush and the towns like, the smaller towns that they kind of fizzled out after, people moved away.
Yeah.
I wonder how, not just the economy or the industry, but how all that's going to affect, you know what I mean? Like, will there be another thing where, like, let's say the suburbs are phased out, right? Like, it was cool to me when I was a kid, living in the suburbs of Houston, because I wanted to play with friends. I didn't have to go get a job. There was food in the pantry. Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But to someone trying to commute, it's quite annoying. I wonder what the future looks like with industry and all that. If I don't know, just random thought. Will there be ghost towns based on the economy and industry of today in the future that we wouldn't foresee right now, because you just don't?
The next big thing is rare earth minerals, so they can make magnets.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever they got coming on with that, maybe have freeways of levitating cars that nobody drives.
Right.
I don't know. I was surprised the actual technology that Tesla has. As far as being able to track like the lane markers and stuff, and then it has all the sensors all around it, so that if somebody starts cutting into your lane, the car will take evasive maneuvers.
Yeah, the man that headed that project died in the car.
Well, when you make stuff for people that want more money and more money, funny things like that happen. Not funny, but strange things.
No, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm not making a claim about the individuals personally, but the spiritual manifestation of sacrifice is what I thought of the, you know what I mean? Like, I have dreams and things. I don't really care about money, but I'm always worried about that. The value of taking over something someone else has built from the perspective of evil, like that. I just kind of see it. It's weird how that man passed away. It's strange.
You've seen the list of scientists, haven't you? Like scientists, all medical scientists that work on genetics or something like that. There was a period of time over like 3 years, like, I don't know, a whole bunch of the world's top ones, like 45 or 50, just mysteriously died or killed themselves.
All those holistic doctors a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a few.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting.
Right.
And then what was that one recently? The lady that used to work for a company that makes substances that get inserted into the body via a hypodermic needle.
Right.
Who used to work for them. that made a statement that she's never going to kill herself, and then she killed herself.
Right.
Yep. Oh, goodness. Yeah, they could find somebody impaled at the top of a 100-foot pole, and they'd say, well, he committed suicide.
All right, tested positive.
Huh. Yeah. So, anyways. How those, what do you think about them electric forklifts? Pretty powerful?
They can lift a few thousand pounds. Well, I don't want to say a few thousand, but they can. I think the max is the ones that we have. It's 5,000. You know, for safe. They can pick up 5,000 pounds, and that's the limit. So that's after it's been graded down. You know. But they're.
What into those? Were you saying they have regulators on them to control the speed?
Well, it's a program.
It's a computer program.
Yeah, you can go in and mess with it. And recently, some folks have tried and thrown about $1,000 issue into. But yeah, there's it's kind of like it's an electronic governor that it's the same as like putting a chip on your car. You don't actually put a chip in it. You reprogram from the thing, and it upgrades the performance.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And maybe you could call like JD Banks or something and get a chip for your forklift.
Mm-hmm.
Be all doing burnouts. I think I told you my brother has one of those. He bought it from an auction. Like nobody else bid on it, so he got this few $100 Toyota forklift, electric forklift, and he's convinced himself he's going to take the guts out and put them on a go-kart. The batteries, and the motor, and he's just going to do I don't know, one big burnout around his neighborhood, power drifting or something. I don't know. Probably won't go over too well. We'll see, though.
The batteries that we have are 8 to 1,200 pounds. If that thing's not secure.
Yeah. Is that mandatory that the motor have that much to drive it?
I think it's a part of the counterbalance, really. Most of the way that they're designed, they're just big. You either have a 48 volt or a 24 volt, and the cells in them, they're lead. You know.
So it depends on the voltage, but then the bigger the battery, the longer the run time, right?
Yeah. Well, theoretically, if they're taken care of and if they have enough water in them and the acid levels are right. The acid keeps the water from boiling. So it keeps it. It's like the acid would be your radiator, basically. And they go a good 4 hours running because everything needs. The business is time. It's all production, you know. And those guys are running as soon as some of them that got it down to the second from lunch to break. I cannot, especially the ones that we have the best equipment in all of the United States. That's all. Yeah. I mean, there's no better company. But I cannot pick up a dime with forklift. And it's storming again.
Is it? We finally got sunshine. Apparently that came with the wind. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, let's let these people get dinner or dessert or something. But thank you very much for joining us, everybody.
Yeah.
And thanks, Landon, for hanging out, man. We need to do this more often.
How about tomorrow?
I'll bring the government cheese. I'll bring the government cheese. That.
I'll bring the enchiladas.
You can bring the Wonder Bread. No, I'm gonna make some grilled cheese.
I'm a bunny bread kind of guy.
You know, the only time I had Wonder Bread as a youngin was when we did a field trip to the Wonder Bread bakery at school. And they're like, okay, kids, here's your loaf of bread. Everybody got a loaf of bread to take home with them. So everybody's eating bread in class for the rest of the day. I don't know. It made kids happy. I got bread.
Right.
So, all right, everybody, thank you very much. Trust Abba. Stay in the Word. Love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.